Yes, good afternoon. Graduation day, National Early Signing Day, Bowl Practice Day, Christmas Shopping Day. We've got a lot going on here, but we're thrilled to welcome in our new class that we signed today. Feel like we met some needs. You know, you never can tell. I'm not one of those coaches to sit here and say, oh, we've got them all, we're all excited and all this, but we do have a great group of young men coming in to continue their education and playing with the Georgia State Panthers. And like I said, I do think we met some needs, in all areas of our football team to help us progress and grow. And, welcoming those guys in is going to be an exciting part of next year's team. So, it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. And you really just don't know until you have, a season under your belt or two, how this recruiting class really works itself out. But we are thrilled to go out and have the opportunity to work with these young men and bring them in to our university.
Appreciate it, Coach. At this time, we'll take questions from members of the media. As a friendly reminder, if you keep yourself on mute until asking your question, we would appreciate it. Go ahead with questions for Coach.
Coach, what area do you think you helped yourself the most today?
Well, I don't want to speculate on anything. I think we had to add some secondary players, and I think we did that. We addressed some of those needs with some older guys and some youth as well. I think that was our focus, to tell you the truth. I know from a defensive standpoint, and I do think we helped ourselves out. We signed some very quality players, guys with some experience. Even with the JC route a little bit, to have a little bit more experience in that back end coming in the next season. So I would have to probably say the secondary.
Coach, obviously last year, everyone across college football had to make some changes to the way recruiting was done because of the circumstances of the world. I mean, can you put into words even what it's been like to sort of be back to normal in that sense and be able to do what you usually do this time around signing this class?
You certainly had the opportunity to go out and see these individuals work and see them in person, be in their homes. I think that's the one thing that last year we didn't have a chance to do. When you can get a chance to go sit down in someone's home and talk with their family, see where they live, how they've grown up, meet their grandmother, meet their grandfather, their aunts and uncles, their coaches are coming by. There's a little bit more involvement in the recruiting. You get a better feel for who you're actually recruiting and what you can expect once they get here.
Hey, Coach, it's Mars. Oh, go ahead, Stan. Go ahead, Stan.
Go ahead, Coach. I don't want to interrupt you, Marcel.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll go ahead. Hey, question for you, though. How much of an impact did the extra year of eligibility with the super seniors and things like that affect your numbers as far as this class goes?
Well, they always affect your numbers. First and foremost, you got to find out who's coming back, who wants to come back, who has the ability to help us moving forward. There's a lot of tough decisions that go into this because you do have to evaluate your numbers. You have to project the future, and it's hard. Some we couldn't bring everyone back that we would have liked to, or if they would have wanted to. It's a tough discussion to have. And there's some that it's just the way the business is going now. So it did affect our numbers to a certain degree. But I think we managed it really well, and I think we're moving forward just as we thought we would.
I was going to ask you about the running back you signed. Not a big guy, but he's got great numbers and great production in South Carolina. I guess he was a finalist for Mr. South Carolina football. What is it about him you like, and what can he bring to the table?
I think he was the second leading rusher in the nation with over 3,300 yards in a single season. I know that's second in the all-time record books in the state of South Carolina. He's a tremendous back. He has shiftiness. He has speed. He is a hard-to-tackle type of football player. He's very tough. Played a great collegiate academy right there with one of my old guys I coached on the offensive line. Corey Helms was the offensive line coach, and we had a good relationship there. He's a tremendous player. I mean, he really is. It's really unfortunate he didn't win the Mr. football of South Carolina for whatever reason. He is the best player in the state of South Carolina, and we're thrilled to have him come into play for us. He is going to get him back. It's hard to put into words just what he means. Everyone's kind of shied away from him for whatever reason because of his size. I remember looking at him really early in this recruiting process, and I said, he's the back. He's the best back. Let's go get him. And he had some late suitors come to the table, but he stood strong, and he's coming to play for the Georgia State Panthers.
Can you talk about Keelan Brown, what you liked in him, why you want to bring him over?
Well, he's a dual threat quarterback. I think, I like those types of guys. I really do. For whatever reason, the system over there for him wasn't fitting for his style of play. He needed a fresh start. We had an opportunity for a fresh start right here. He seemed to fit in what we were looking for in a quarterback, and both the athleticism and the mentality. And we thought it was a perfect fit, and certainly he did too. And that's why he's coming to play here at Georgia State.
Coach, any positions that you're still looking at? I know obviously this is the early signing period, as you mentioned. You still have some evaluating to do potentially there, and even some potential movement. I'd imagine after the first of the year.
Oh yeah, you're always evaluating. These things can change. One of the things I like about the recruiting now is it continues to go on. So it's going to go on right through May, and right through June, and right through July, and right through August. And you can see some guys being added here in the near future. You can see some guys being added here throughout the course of the spring. It's just the way the business is working right now, and the way recruiting has shifted. So you have to always be in the evaluation mode. You have to look and keep your ear to the ground, because there's always someone out there or something happening that could benefit you and your football program. And we're always going to have our eye open for that opportunity.
Do you have the number of guys that are looking to enroll early and get here in January?
Yeah, I think we're going to have 4 early that'll be enrolling. And like I said, things are changing and evolving, and that could go to 5 or 6 very quickly. So just hold on. We may have a signing day party next week too.
Are you allowed to share the names of those guys that might be coming in
Nope.
early?
I'm not. No, not until I can get everything worked out with admissions and everything. Invitation right in place. I'd rather not comment on those guys right now.
Coach, I'll go again. You've taken so much pride in your making consecutive bowls and everything like that. How has that helped in the recruiting trail as far as the success the team has had over the past few seasons?
Yeah, I just think I think the Georgia State brand, the Panther logo, when you walk into schools now throughout the Southeast or wherever we go, recognized, and people want to come see what Georgia State is all about. So, anytime you have success, it's kind of like you ever been fishing, and the guy catches the fish over here in this corner, and next thing you know, your partner's moved over in your corner right there trying to fish in the same spot. That's kind of how it's gone. We've had success, so people are taking notice, and they're starting to come fish in our corner over here.
I'll go with another one, I guess. You talked about AZ. You actually also one of his face. Was that a situation where you were looking at him and you saw this offensive lineman doing good stuff, or was it separately, or it just happened out that way?
It was just a relationship. We saw KZ, and then there was another prospect, Alec Johnson, of course, was there, and I coached the South Carolina for me. Corey Helms was the line coach, and he went, "I want you to take a look at this guy." He said, "I think he's got everything it takes to be a successful offensive lineman." And I said, "Well, bring him down to camp." And he came and worked out at our camp, and he was the hardest worker I think I've seen at our camp. He had tremendous leverage. He had good ball skills and snapping. And, he's not, doesn't have a large frame. I think he's about 6'2", 280 right now, state champion. And he plays with unbelievable effort. And right away, I said, "There's no doubt. He needs to come man the center position for us."
Isaiah Guy played both sides of the ball in high school. Do you prefer him as a receiver or defensive back?
Defensive back, without a question. Yeah, we don't need him in the wide receiver position. He is solely for the to bring us depth and help in our secondary.
Coach, you talked about some of the secondary guys played in the past, certainly have been cross-trained at corner and safety. You see some guys in this class that could have that same ability. Know some guys obviously coming from the junior college ranks and to play all over the field.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it. You sign the athleticism right here. Easily you sit here and pinpoint them. Hey, you're going to be the corner position. You're going to be the safety. You're going to be the free, the strong, however you want to do it, the field or boundary corner, whatever you want to call these things. I think we just signed a collection of really, really good athletes in the back end. We're going to have them, of course, start out at the certain positions that we recruit them as, but they can each and every one play the safety position or the corner spot. We were their best fit, best opportunity to be successful. And the number one goal is for our football team to be successful. And wherever they fit well at is where they're going to play.
That's Coach, I'll jump in. You mentioned the junior college signees. Is that a trend you kind of see maybe going more towards even with the transfer portal? Do you see you maybe going more towards that direction as compared to true freshmen from the high school?
No, I'm always, I don't have a trend going. I just think you got to look at your roster and say, hey, where do we need help? And do we need the help immediately? Do we feel like a freshman can come in and benefit from that? If we feel like the freshman that can come in and actually do that right away, certainly you want the guy with more years of eligibility and time on his hands. Some guys, they just don't mature. You don't know how much they're going to mature over the course of the summer if they are true freshmen, physically and mentally. The transfer and then the junior college ranks gives you an opportunity. They've probably already been through that transitional phase. Now they're not 17, 18 years old, they're 19, 20 years old. And those 2 years makes a difference. So if you're looking for the older player, the more experienced player to potentially come in right away, then that's what you go and you go and do. But it's not a trend. It's a need or what we have to feel at that point in time.
Did you know Chris Smith from before when you recruited Jalen, being a Decula kid?
I sure did. When it was kind of funny. He sends me a message on Twitter and communicates with me. And this is no lie. I'm laying in the bed. It's about 5 a.m. I pick up my phone and he had just DM'd me and said, hey, Coach, take a look at my film. I hope you get this. I hope you get a chance. I know you get a lot of messages and stuff like that. I don't know why, but I instantly started watching this film at that very moment. And it was within 5 or 10 minutes. I said, I got to get in the office and we got to evaluate this young man. He had actually sent me a happy Father's Day. I guess it was 3 years prior when we were recruiting him back in high school. And I kind of went back and I laughed. I said, it's remarkable how things just work out. I said, here we are 3 years ago and you're sending me the happy Father's Day and we're communicating back then. And then it all comes full circle. And here you are signing with Georgia State. So it's a really neat story. I'm glad it's worked out. He's going to be a really good player for us, one of them old heads that we're bringing in here with some experience.